Our next guest is Fran Capo. She's with us in New York. Does a lot of things, does Fran. She writes for WBLS Radio, used to do their weather and traffic reports. She MCs and does stand-ups at New York City clubs, including Suds and the Comedy House.
So this is what my kid looks like. Oh, isn't he cute? Oh, isn't he cute? Isn't he cute? And don't say he looks like Eddie Munster or Chucky, okay? Mommy, come here. You know, that's not what I'm doing. Right, but kids change a lot. This is what he looked like when he was 19 months old. This is what he looked like when he was 8 months old. Come on, doesn't it look like the hair club for men? I used to be the president.
And talks fast.
He dwelt the secret place of the Most High, shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say, my Lord is the refuge and fortress of God, in him I trust. He dwelt the secret place.
Stop. You have set the Guinness Book of World Records. 583 in a minute.
I told you, Charlie, I Copa Lisa located just 2 blocks from my mother, Northern Boulevard of 57th Street in Queens, and would have delivered the car as promised with the right price with easy financing.
I think we've all ordered from a Chinese restaurant, so we thought it would be fun. We have a couple of places right here in town, folks, that have a delivery. So we think it would be interesting to call up and have Fran order some things from the menu, shall we say. I'm going to put my wife on the phone, and she's going to order. Hold on.
Make it fast, please.
Oh, we'll make it fast.
You ready? We'd like the Hoy Special Almond Chicken, Mongolian Beef, Northern Style Vegetables, Kaipui Chicken, Shrimp with Vegetables, Sweet and Sour Pork, Curry Chicken, Almond Chicken, Chicken with Vegetables, Kaipui Chicken, Mandarin Chicken, Pineapple Chicken, Orange Flavor Chicken, Sweet and Sour Sweet. Do you got that? Hello?
Fran, come on out.
Meet Fran Capo, comedian, television personality, adventurer, keynote speaker, hypnotherapist, author, and America's foremost imposter.
Macadamia. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know, I went to Hawaii once. Did I tell you about the time that I went to Hawaii?
The world's fastest talking female has an enviable list of credits. Over 1,000 radio shows, over 250 television shows, more than 30 commercials, 5 movies, and several books.
Now, Fran has co-written a book called It Happened in New York, which is a collection of the weird, the funny, the unusual stories about things that have made New York, New York.
Fran's also the author of a brand new book that's called Almost a Wise Guy. It's a novel about the mob.
As a fast talker, she has been featured on a wide array of television shows. From the bizarre.
Now, we all know somebody who talks a mile a minute. How about 630 words a minute?
Her voice will be run through something called a lexicon compressor. It will capture her voice, slow it down.
Lord is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom will I trust. Refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom will I trust.
She's done it without stumbling over a single syllable.
To the hip world of teenagers.
Are you learning how to talk fast like Fran here? Isn't she amazing?
To reality shows and contests.
Welcome to a special World Record Holders edition of The Weakest Link. Hey, I wanted to vote you up.
Humor in the workplace.
Fran Capo is an accomplished MC who adds fun and flair to corporate award dinners and banquets.
Whatever you laugh at is the comedy. Whatever you don't laugh at is the lecture. Okay?
Fran Capo has also performed all over the country and on national television with her wholesome stand-up comedy.
Before, right, you know this, right? Before you marry a guy, he could throw a ball into a hoop from like 50 feet away. But after you marry him, he can't throw a sock into a basket less than a foot away. Something happened. But, you know, now I'm single again, so I'm dating a lot. And, I went on a blind date. Has anyone done this? Blind dates are the worst. Because what happens if the person's good looking, they're dumb. If they're great looking, they're married. And if they're neither, they're your blind date. Right? My girlfriend goes to me, Fran, I want you to meet this nice guy. He's a nice guy, just a little overweight. Baloney, the guy was fat. We were in a restaurant, we walked out, the guy fell down, he rocked himself to sleep trying to get up. Wasn't so bad, I went back like a week later, they had roped off the area, stuck a saddle on his back, and they were charging 10 cents a ride.
First date, guy'll open the car door for you. 6 months, he'll put the key in the door. Year later, it's like, babe, can you bring the car around for me? Right? Something happens, it disintegrates. And girls, you ever do this? Ever fall asleep on a guy's shoulder and start to drool? Right? And you hope the guy doesn't notice, you know, and he's like, honey, I love you, but the spittle's gotta go. Get a towel, not very attractive. And you know, everybody wants to look good for, you know, who they're dating. And you women, you know, you do the shaving or the waxing thing. You know what the waxing thing is? Right? Basically, for those of you who don't know, it's when a woman pours like hot molten lava on her legs. Right? And then she rips it off. And if she looks at it, it looks like a chia pet. Not very attractive. Movies and
Fran Capo is also a powerful keynote speaker and motivator, presenting her Dare to Do It workshop. Whether for large or small groups, Fran adds laughter, builds teamwork and confidence, and heightens employee productivity by teaching them to break through common fear barriers.
I mean, you gotta take risks. You gotta just jump in and do it. What's the worst that happens? The worst that happens, you look like a fool. So what? People forget, you know? Okay, ready?
Barbara and Glenn Smiley, founders of the Enlivening Project, wrote, "The participants found themselves more able to do things they would normally find too embarrassing or uncomfortable. Thanks to the many exercises you had us all participate in, they were able to do it. Not only are you entertaining, you are also an inspiration to go for it in life. We recommend this program to anyone committed to achieving success in life." As an adventurist, Fran Capo walks her talk and challenges herself at every turn. She lives her fear-nothing philosophy and brings her energy and enthusiasm into the corporate setting to motivate, educate, captivate.
Philosophy with him, like I remember one time, my son had a book report due. And in the book report, the teacher wrote, right? She wrote, "What was the author thinking when he wrote this?" I said, how the hell are we gonna know what the author was thinking? So I said, Spencer, we're gonna call up the author.
Fran Capo speaks from the heart, relating personal anecdotes and practical advice that demonstrates her philosophy.
So I look on the back of the book, right? And it says, I don't remember the author's name at this point, but it said so-and-so is a graduate, and it had what college that he taught at, right? So I call the college. Oh, he's no longer, you know, teaching here, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, you know, and then I was like, well, I don't believe in lying, but I believe that sometimes you're gonna just like push it a little. So I said, all right, well, let me just think. And so then I said, well, do you know where like else he's teaching or whatever? And they say, oh, we can't divulge that information, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, forget it, they're not gonna help me. So I look in the book and it says, he happily lives in Orange, New Jersey with his wife. Orange, New Jersey. Okay, so I call up the Yellow Pages. It's so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I call him. I go, hello, my name is Fran Capo. I know this is gonna sound very strange, but your husband wrote a book, and my son has a book report due, and they want to know what he was thinking when he wrote it. And can my son interview you? Interview your husband? She goes, yes. I said, look, I'm not a stalker or anything like that. I don't want you to worry about this, you know. I said, you could look at caller ID, you know, check me back, you know, call me back, whatever you got to do, because, you know, people might get worried, you know. And so, you know, who knows? He may think like I'm from the past, some lover who's trying to find out if he's having a good marriage. You don't know, right? So I'm like, all right, fine. So I call up and I say to Spencer, okay, now we got to get these questions done and everything. So he gets all the, you know, all the questions. I said, do it very professional. Say, you know, I said, we'll put a tape on and you'll do it, you know, like, hello, this is Spencer Patterson reporting for MS 172 when I'm interviewing. I said, do it like that, you know? And I said, and don't tell the teacher, because then the teacher's going to have her own, you know, now we'll call everybody, you know, I don't want the whole class calling the guy. So anyway, so he does, you know, so he does the interview, and embarrassingly enough, we forgot to turn the tape on. Right? So I'm like, all right, we went this far. We got to call him back again. So I call him back and I go, I'm sorry. I just want to tell you that was a very good first rehearsal. And I mean, my philosophy is live every day as if it's your last, and one day you'll be right. You know? I'm not saying bad stuff happens. Look, I've been held up at gunpoint twice. I've had my house burned down. I took care of my dad on hospice when he was dying of cancer. I've had a lot of things happen to me, okay? So it's not like people go, oh, you know, you got such a positive life. Yeah, I had stuff happen to me. But the thing is, remember in the Bible, they said it come to pass. Just remember this, it came to pass, it didn't come to stay. When my dad was dying of cancer, I had him at home, and I was taking care of him on hospice. But my dad always had a good sense of humor. Like, what he would do is when he was having the chemo, he made me buy a chia pet to see whose hair would grow back faster, right? Of course, he was always over there cutting the chia pet's hair so that, you know. Enjoy what you're doing and don't let anyone stop you. Every single one of you, has something inside a special gift. Discover what it is and let it shine. Thank you. Thank you very much. We would not want to connect through Chicago.
At Bureau functions, where attendees wade through day-long lectures, Fran Capo captivates unsuspecting audiences by posing as a phony consultant with mega credits. Whether she's posing as a director of public relations for Pitney Bowes, or as a consultant to the president for Chase Manhattan Bank,
NYPD. VPs like to chase BCD, FT, and FTCPs. However, people expect you to use ESP because they feel they are VIPs. Of course, with all that, they're simply trying to find out how to get from the GCP to the LAE by the way of the BQE, ASAP. So we're not caught with open XYZ and now BVDs, or you'll be OUT. Now that that's cleared up, have a nice day, and remember,
the
right relationship is everything.
or posing as an executive describing policy changes with information builders.
Okay, so as you all know, there is obviously two systems that we have that we use, which is EDA and SQL. And these two products could have like 89 different pricing structures, right? I mean, basically what you feel like doing sometimes is putting everything in a hat and going eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and taking one out, but we won't do that. So now that that's cleared up, we're going to go on to pricing with the policy procedures. Okay.
Patricia Finnell, sales manager of Information Builders, wrote, "Everyone is still talking about the great impersonator act you did at our international sales meeting in Orlando. The way you imitated Kathy was a breath of fresh air for all the participants. Of over 500 session evaluations we received, your session was rated the best.
By handing off to wide receiver Jerry Cohen, the quote, who immediately pretends to know nothing about it.
Thank you for helping to make this the best sales meeting ever."
If all the players have executed properly, the play results in a Hail Mary to the customer who's waiting at the goal line. When the customer has crossed the goal line with the quote, then what he does is Mark needs to send out to the sideline for the conversion. He sends in either Myron or what's her name? Betty in to kick in the extra point. And then they also send in Harry L to hold. If Harry thinks 2 points is better than 1, he carries the ball over the goal line himself to complete the play. Wilson, of course, is standing at the sidelines with the cheerleaders going, "Go, team, go! Go, team, go!" Well, that concludes it. I hope I've cleared everything up for you people. Thank you. Okay.
The results speak for themselves.
Fran Capo, she speaks so fast. That's amazing.
Roma, stay in effect for the entire calendar year. Most of your benefit contributions will be made on a pre-tax basis, which means you'll save money. The benefits you can choose include...
And for something extra, Fran Capo's combination of humor, fast talking, and a variety of characters could be used to add humor and sparkle to special in-house training and promotions, conventions, TV commercials, and national campaigns.
Promote the film, then have lunch with every hotshot in Hollywood in order to line up the next 4 movie deals. And on weekends, I manage my kids' Little League softball team. All this you can watch brand new USA world premiere movies on USA Network. Well, I guess they ought to get to work. Action!
At USA Network, we don't just run movies, we make them.
Whether you need a fast talker, a clean comedy entertainer, a motivational speaker, or a corporate imposter, Fran Capo will delight your audiences, leaving them entertained, enthused, and invigorated. Fran Capo, the world's fastest talking female.
He's so bad, just so
Batteries not included.
This is Fran Capo, thank you.